how to be adaptable like Heraclitus. Discover how to be a river. It is challenging to change. We want things to continue being the same. As humans, we thrive on routine, repetition, and recognition. Even though our experiences are unique, you understand what I mean. As the Buddha once said, all things change nonetheless. We grow older and move. If we had to stay in one place, our roots would resemble those of a tree. Adapting to change is one of the most crucial things that humans can do to advance in life. Actually, change, specifically positive change, is just another word for progress. However, how can we handle it? Change is uncharted, unfamiliar, and frightening. Yes, since ancient Greece, philosophers have struggled with this issue. Heraclitus is credited with what is arguably the best explanation of how change impacts all of us. He once said, "No one ever steps in the same river twice, because it is not the same river and he is not the same man." You may be familiar with this proverb. This well-known quotation provides an excellent explanation of both why and what we should learn in order to deal with change. Everything is always evolving. Our conviction that the present is set in stone is a major contributing factor to our resistance to change, be it a new job or the termination of a relationship. We must convince ourselves that the world we face is unquestionable. Because we are able to live in the present moment, we are able to take action. If everything existed only in the past or the future, we would never advance. Everything will occur organically or just naturally. In order to compare and contrast the past and the future, we must establish this fixed point, which is a summary of the present, because we must act rather than just exist. However, in reality, nothing exists outside of that instant at any given time. That moment does not remain the same once it has been considered, completed, or simply exists beyond that instant. As stated differently, there is a continuous state of change. There is no static moment, or at least not one that we humans can perceive. Everything is always changing. This implies that if things are always changing, it will be simpler for us to accept significant changes as they happen. The scale of those figures or the extent of a transfer in terms of employment or residence actually matters a lot to us. All in all, these modifications are negligible, or at least identical to other microsecond by microsecond variations. The thought was humble. Reduce the size of your universe. However, it is helpful to view things in context. What further modifications do you add to everything if it's continually changing? Not only is this not the same river, but we are also not the same people. The clever secret to Heraclitus' assertion lies in this. He's not claiming that you can't step into the same river twice. Rather, he's stating that you can't because the river has changed, it flows and is now fresh water, and the person stepping into it the second time is different. Our cells are always moving, changing, dying, and developing. We can observe this on a microbiological level, or we might observe it on a psychological level, where we will react differently, perhaps unconsciously, the next time we cross a river. Or we can approach it from a broader, more philosophical perspective, combining all of the above with everything else, such as the passage of time, mood swings, and the expansion of knowledge. Whether we like it or not, We can either accept that we are always changing to varying degrees or oppose it and make life more difficult for ourselves. And we might just as easily fall into the flow if we acknowledge that this is the norm, much like a river. We let change come and take us with it as opposed to fighting against it. We can regulate and exercise agency, of course, but if we fully oppose change, all we will get is more suffering. Therefore, remember to think of yourself as a river. Accept that you will always change and just go with the flow the next time you find yourself worrying about an imminent change, such as the loss of a friendship or a shift in lifestyle brought on by having children. Adapt to the situation. The places it takes you could surprise you.